Hi, my name is Xiye Bastida. I am 17 years old and I am a climate justice activist. I am living in New York City right now, but I'm originally from Mexico. I want to thank all of you for opening this space for me, and I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but I'm very excited for the vision of the summit, and I'm also happy to see what's going to come out of it. So I just want to talk a little bit about the youth movement. There's always a youth movement going on, and there's all the movements that have been happening have been primarily led by youth, such as the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. And now we're at a point where this is a worldwide issue that is going to affect youth in a way that is unimaginable for you. But it is a reality for a lot of people whose communities are already being affected. So Greta Thunberg started striking in August 20th of 2018, demanding that her government took bold action against the climate crisis. And from there, more and more youth joined her in the Fridays for Future movement. And now, on March 15th, was our first global climate strike where we had 1.6 million students marching with us worldwide. On May 24th, we had 1.9 million students marching with us worldwide. And now for September 20th, this is going to be the biggest global climate strike where we're inviting adults to join us because we recognize that striking from school is not going to solve the climate crisis, but it's going to enable the political mechanisms that can. And it's going to enable the cultural mechanisms that can. And it's going to raise awareness and wake people up to the reality that we're living in. And we want you to know that even though we are skipping school, it's not like we don't like school. I want to study biochemistry and environmental studies. It's not about that. It's not about protesting school. It's about saying, you need to teach us about the climate crisis in school, because if not, we have to look through other sources. And then we are learning about this in a way that is too shocking for us when natural disasters hit our own homes or other parts of the world. So our civic duty as students is to go to school, but how are you asking us to go to school for a future that we might not be able to have? Why are you asking us to go to school when you're not listening to the educated and the people who are scientists and experts in their area of expertise? So I just want to remind all of you that we are disrupting our civic duty in order for you to pay attention. And now that we've grasped your attention for this period of time, we want you to take action, because we cannot vote yet, but you can speak for us and you can save our future today. So we are really asking you to realize what we're going through. We are living in a planet that is unstable. We are living in a planet that is suffering. And we are feeling that firsthand, and we have feeling that our whole lives. And this cannot be the normal. We are asking for you to say, this is not okay, and that my childhood was not like this. So we really hope you not only join us on September 20th, but also beyond that. Because September 20th is not a goal, it's a catalyst for future action, and it's a catalyst for the engagement of humanity in the protection of Earth, and a catalyst for the culmination of thousands of climate activists who won't stop fighting until the climate crisis is reversed. Now I want to speak to you about another important component of the summit, which is the Indigenous Presence. I am Otomi Toltec from Mexico, and you know and I know that Indigenous philosophy worldwide is that you take care of the earth because the earth takes care of you. And that is something that we need to keep in mind, that reciprocity component of life. For me, it's not sustainable that we are using so much of the earth's resources and not giving back. The earth gives us everything, and it's only asking us for protection. And Indigenous people have been protecting this land for thousands of years. Taking care of the earth shouldn't be a movement. It shouldn't be a point where we just say, oh, we are harming the earth, we need to wake up and start caring for it, and then we move on. This is something that should be part of our culture. This is something that should be part of our lifestyle. And in order to get there, we need to shift the narrative. And the narrative should be that climate change is affecting real people in real time. And it should be that we have the resources and the tools to tackle the climate crisis in a sustainable way. We need to weave personal stories into data, because data is desensitizing people. But when you bring personal stories into it, people are more prone to open their minds. So we need to shape personal stories into narratives, and then that is going to change our culture. And then once you have cultural change, you have structural change. And the change that we need is bold change. And we know we're asking for a lot, but your good is no longer good enough. We need more. We need more action, and we need you to be mindful about everything. Not only in every level of government, from local to international agreements, but also across the spectrum from the global south, the global north, the east, the west. We need to be united in a way that is not one country wanting to take the lead on tackling the climate crisis. It should be all the countries collaborating together in order for this common goal to be achieved. And once the goal is achieved, it's not about getting there and then going down the same road again. It's about getting there and realizing that that is a way of life that we have to be living. As we see today, the climate crisis is affecting everyone. Right now, we are seeing the destruction in the Bahamas and the fires in California and the fires in Siberia, the fires in the Amazon. This is becoming a human rights issue. And if I wasn't a climate activist, I would be a human rights activist. But beyond that, I would be a planet rights activist, because we also need to hear what everything else is telling us to protect. It's not only about being involved in the climate movement or aware of the climate movement because humans are getting affected. It's not only about us, and that is selfish to think. We really need to think about our ecosystem as a whole. And it shouldn't be we, the people, it should be we, the planet. So right now, I want you to imagine a world where everyone lives in peace. I want you to imagine a world where everyone has balance. And we do have differences, and those differences need to be celebrated, and those differences need to be part of a freedom that we don't have right now. Imagine a world where we have 2 trillion trees planted. Imagine a world where we have only 280 parts per million of carbon in the atmosphere and not 415 parts per million. It's just a world that is not unimaginable. And in order to get there, we need to take action. And we need you to be part of that action, because this movement requires everyone. This is a movement that is going to affect my generation and future generations the most. But we want you to know that we need you, because you can speak for us today. I just want to thank all of you for listening to me and for opening this platform to all these voices that need to be heard and need to be accounted for. And I want to thank all of you for sharing your stories and sharing your message. And I hope to hear from you soon.